begin with breaking news tonight. In the fight against COVID-19, the state issuing a COVID-19 alert for the city of Danbury. Thanks for joining us. I'm Aisha Bowe.
And I'm Brent Harden. The Connecticut Department of Public Health issuing that alert just a couple of hours ago. DPH reporting a significant increase in cases in the last 2 weeks. Now, Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton reported 44 new cases just since yesterday. Health officials say much of the outbreak can be traced back to recent domestic and international travel. Now, here are the numbers. According to the state, between August 2nd and yesterday, August 20th, the city of Danbury reported at least 178 new cases of COVID-19. And that is, of course, a sharp increase over the previous 2-week period when the state says only 40 new cases were recorded.
And Governor Lamont putting out an important message to the people of Danbury tonight on Twitter. The governor says the state is urging anyone who thinks they may have been exposed to COVID-19 to get tested as soon as possible. The governor is also urging those over the age of 60 and those who may have a chronic disease who live in Danbury to stay home and to limit their potential exposure to this virus. Now, you may remember back in March, at the start of this COVID-19 outbreak here in Connecticut, the city of Danbury was the first to deal with a COVID-19 case in the state. A New York resident who worked at Danbury Hospital testing positive for the virus. And state health officials are showing optimism when it comes to the coronavirus in our state. Connecticut has one of the lowest transmission rates for COVID-19 in the entire country. So let's break down the new data. According to the Department of Public Health, there were 65 new cases of COVID-19 reported since yesterday. Compare that number to the tests reported since yesterday, 7,922 tests. We'll do the math, and that comes out to a 0.8% positive rate. Governor Lamont says today's new cases are one of the lowest rates to this day since the start of the pandemic, which is certainly a promising sign.
And as the state monitors this health crisis, there are concerns ramping up with the Thanksgiving holiday drawing near. Many people planning to travel this Thanksgiving, whether to Connecticut to celebrate with family or leaving to celebrate elsewhere. Add that to the thousands of college students who will be returning home for the holiday and staying home as campuses close for the fall and go remote for the rest of the summer. Semester, I should say. Our team has you covered with everything you need to know. We begin with Fox 61's Zania Maldonado and how to travel safely this Thanksgiving. Zania.
And breaking news, first at 10, a major announcement today from the White House regarding the transition of power. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. The Trump administration has taken the first steps towards acknowledging Joe Biden as the winner of the 2020 presidential election. The General Services Administration sent a letter to President-elect Biden today saying the White House is ready to begin the formal transition process. In that letter, the GSA ascertained Biden is the apparent winner of the election. Both Michigan and Georgia certified their election results for Joe Biden today, essentially ending the legal challenges the Trump administration posed in those key battleground states.
Now, in that letter to President-elect Biden, the head of the GSA, Emily Murphy, explains how she has been the subject of threats related to this decision. Murphy writes, "To be clear, I did not receive any direction to delay my determination. I did, however, receive threats online, by phone, and by mail directed at my safety, my family, my staff, and even my pets, in an effort to coerce me into making this determination prematurely. Even in the face of thousands of threats, I always remain committed to upholding the law." President Trump took to Twitter shortly after the news broke regarding this letter from GSA. The president has not conceded the election to his opponent and did not publicly do so today, instead vowing to continue to press on with legal challenges his campaign has brought up in several states. The president tweeting, "I want to thank Emily Murphy at GSA for her steadfast dedication and loyalty to our country. She has been harassed, threatened, and abused, and I do not want to see this happen to her, her family, or employees of GSA. Our case strongly continues. We will keep up the good fight, and I believe we will prevail. Nevertheless, in the best interest of our country, I am recommending that Emily and her team do what needs to be done with regard to initial protocols and have told my team to do the same."
And a lot of questions still surrounding the election as the final votes are being tallied and we await the results from the last few states. Judy emailed us with a question for Verify. If Joe Biden hits 270 electoral votes before President Trump, does he win regardless if all votes are not counted? And the answer to that question is yes. Our source is the United States Constitution. The 12th Amendment lays out the procedure for electing the president and vice president. The winner of the election must receive the greatest number of votes based on the number of electors that are part of the Electoral College. There are currently 538 electors in the Electoral College, so the winner would need that magic number of 270 votes to receive the majority. The candidate that reaches that threshold first would be declared the president. A lot of you have been asking how the state of Connecticut will enforce this travel advisory. The 3 states are stepping up their messaging campaigns to make sure people coming from those high-risk states are aware they need to quarantine for 14 days. But here's the question. If Connecticut State Police see cars with license plates from those impacted states, like Florida or the Carolinas, will troopers stop them? Well, we verified and found out, no, that is not the case. Our source for that answer, Connecticut State Police on Twitter, they tweeted today that troopers are not stopping out-of-state motorists and Connecticut roadways are open to those traveling through to surrounding states.
That ends up bubbling up has the potential to turn into a severe thunderstorm, has the potential to produce damaging winds.
Last time we checked, it was 168,000 outages just for Eversource. Now that number's increased to 182,000 outages.
277,000 customers without power.
As you can see, it's a little bit hard to stand right now because of how hard the winds are. Look at that. That tree just came down. Look at that at the end of Grove Street there. We just heard that come down.
He was all downstairs with his family when that tree came tumbling down into the son's bedrooms.
I'm just really grateful that it didn't fall in the house, that she's okay, you know, that everybody around here is okay, because this could all be cleaned up, but, you know, as long as everyone's okay is the main thing.
From summer storms to winter blizzards, from nor'easters to hurricanes to tornadoes, Connecticut has seen it all. This week, Fox 61 takes you deep into the heart of this extreme weather to help you prepare for whatever you might face.
We've really tried to focus more and more on the hazards, the storm surge, the winds, the flooding rainfall, the tornadoes, and all the hazards that a tropical storm or hurricane can bring.
Down in Miami, Florida, the National Hurricane Center is at the epicenter of hurricane tracking. Forecasters diving into the center of these storms to study them and help keep people safe. Their message, an important one.
You've got to be prepared every year.
The center used the most advanced technology to predict, to forecast, and to learn, while others bring in the big guns.
What we're doing here is being done nowhere else in the country.
Meet the wall of wind.
700 horsepower each, maximum wind speed of 156 miles per hour. That's equivalent to approximately a Category 5 hurricane.
This machine simulating the strongest hurricane force winds to learn more and to help others in the path of fury.
We have to stop this spin cycle of build, damage, rebuild. We cannot rebuild the same way or sometimes in the same place.
But it's not just the hurricanes, it's any sort of severe weather that creates problems for us here in Connecticut.
Nor'easters are just as big a problem as the hurricanes.
Rising tides and flash flooding can be dangerous for people on Connecticut's shoreline. More on what's being done here at home to protect you and your families from potential danger.
All right, Rachel, keep us updated. Appreciate it. Well, happening today, a great day for some baseball.
Yeah, it still might be a little bit cold out there, but the wait is finally over. Opening day has arrived, everyone. All 30 MLB teams are in action today. The defending champs, the Boston Red Sox, play tonight on the West Coast against the Seattle Mariners, and the New York Mets head to the nation's capital to play the Washington Nationals.
Meanwhile, the New York Yankees are wrapping up their home opener against the Baltimore Orioles. Fox 61 sports director Rich Capola joins us live from the Bronx outside of Yankee Stadium with the excitement for a new year of baseball. Hey, Rich.
Thanks, Rachel. New at 5, Governor Ned Lamont is providing new details on his effort to boost Connecticut's investment in transportation infrastructure.
Yeah, specifically as it pertains to tolls returning to Connecticut. Fox 61's Jen Bernstein joins us in the newsroom now with what the governor had to say today. Jen?
Brennan, Amanda, this has certainly been a heated debate at the state capitol and all around Connecticut for that matter. Many residents not happy about the possibility of tolls returning. And today we got a better idea of how much it could cost to drive on Connecticut's highways if lawmakers vote to bring tolls back. The governor joined members of the Transportation Committee today to give an update on where things stand at this point after 3 different bills passed the committee. Governor Lamont says he and the committee have begun paring it down to one single bill. Several key provisions in this bill. 40% of the revenue from tolls will be paid for by out-of-state drivers. The highways that would be tolled would be Interstates 84, 91, 95, and Route 15. Officials say there would be no more than 50 tolling gantries in the state placed roughly every 6 to 7 miles. Connecticut drivers with an Easy Pass could expect to pay anywhere from 25 to 30 cents per gantry. During his comments today, Governor Lamont said he's keeping the best interest of Connecticut's taxpayers as top priority.
Don't believe these nonsense studies. They're comparing our 4-lane, 8-lane, 7-lane highways with, single-lane roads. So you can't compare this. But more importantly, we got to do a better job of holding down our costs and giving you, the taxpayers, confidence that your money is being well spent.
So what does this mean for drivers? The governor and the DOT released some estimated costs per trip for Connecticut Easy Pass holders and those with a frequent user discount. The 39-mile drive from New Haven to Hartford would cost about $1.72 on peak periods. It would be $1.36 off-peak. The drive from Stamford to New Haven is about 41 miles on I-95. That trip on peak would be $1.80 for drivers and off-peak $1.40. The state did emphasize several trips that would cost drivers nothing. Those trips are on roads that officials say would not have tolling gantries on them. Ones like Torrington to Bridgeport along Route 8, Middletown to Old Saybrook down Route 9, and Putnam to Norwich along I-395. Now this week, state lawmakers have been holding informational sessions to give residents a better idea of these tolling proposals. The discussion continues again tonight in the town of Wallingford. Members of the town council voted in favor of a resolution against tolls last night. Residents we spoke with said they remain firmly against bringing tolls back to Connecticut's highways. State lawmakers will host tonight's informational session at Wallingford Town Hall. That's beginning at 7 p.m. Plus, this weekend, more protests will be held against the implementation of tolls in Connecticut. Organizers with the group No Tolls CT will host 3 different rallies around the state Saturday. One in Windsor, one in Milford, and one in Old Saybrook. And with 8 weeks left in the general session, Governor Lamont is looking to push forward these discussions to take actions on tolls. We'll keep you covered on any new developments on the toll front and bring you any new information as we get it. Back to you guys.